Hey, bio team. So if you were to look at the life cycle of a cell from the time it's born to the time it divides into two new cells, you'd see that it goes through several phases of life. The first of these phases is called interphase, and that's actually all three of these blue sections of the pie here. In the first part of interphase is just a growth phase where the cell gets bigger. Then after it's grown for a bit, the cell synthesizes or replicates new copies of each of its chromosomes of DNA. And then it will grow some more before finally separating those copies of DNA into two identical daughter cells. Now, the process of dividing the chromosomes apart is called mitosis, and the actual splitting of the cell into two new pieces is cytokinesis. And mitosis occurs in several steps. The first phase of mitosis is prophase. And in this stage, the DNA's chromosomes condense. They thicken up around histone proteins, so it's easier for the cell to maneuver them. Then the cell uses spindle fibers to attach to those bunched up chromosomes and line them up along the equator of the cell, or the middle of the cell. After they're lined up, the cell's spindle fibers pull those chromosomes apart during anaphase, ideally an identical copy of each chromosome going to opposite ends of the cell. And then the last stage of mitosis is telophase, in which the chromosomes regroup back together and new nuclei form around them. Then after the chromosomes have been divided up, the entire cell itself splits, its membrane pinches together, and if the cell has a cell wall, a plate in the middle of the cell will form. At this point, the cycle begins anew. Each new cell repeats the process, growing, replicating its DNA, and then dividing again. And that's it. At this point, you guys have some practice problems. We'll see you next class.